You're doing everything right. You train hard, you push yourself to the limit, you follow every piece of advice from fitness gurus online. But here's the brutal truth. Your VO2 max isn't improving. In fact, it might actually be getting worse. And the reason why will shock you, because the culprit isn't what you think. It's not your genetics, it's not your age, and it's definitely not because you're not trying hard enough. The real enemy is hiding in plain sight, sabotaging your cardiovascular potential every single day. What if I told you that the very thing you believe is helping you might be the exact thing destroying your aerobic capacity? Stay with me because what you're about to discover will completely change how you approach your training forever. Welcome to a journey that will expose the hidden saboteur of athletic performance. Today we're diving deep into the science of VO2 max, and I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll understand why so many athletes plateau, despite their best efforts. Prepare to discover the fatal mistake that separates those who continuously improve from those who stagnate. This isn't just another fitness tip. This is the missing piece of the puzzle that explains why your cardio feels harder than it should, why your race times have stopped improving, and why you feel exhausted despite training consistently. Let's uncover the truth together. Here's what most people don't understand about VO2 max. It's not just about how hard you can push during a workout. VO2 max represents the maximum amount of oxygen your body can utilize during intense exercise, and it's the gold standard for measuring cardiovascular fitness. Elite athletes obsess over it because it directly correlates with endurance performance. But here's where things get interesting. Your VO2 max is influenced by multiple factors, including your heart's ability to pump blood, your muscles' capacity to extract oxygen, and your mitochondrial density. Now, when you train, you're essentially sending signals to your body to adapt and improve these systems. But what happens when you send the wrong signals? What happens when your training method actually tells your body to do the opposite of what you want? The fatal mistake is chronic cardio at moderate intensity. Yes, you heard that right. Those long, steady-state runs at a comfortable pace that feel productive? They might be your worst enemy. Here's why this is so devastating. When you constantly train in the moderate intensity zone, roughly 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate, you're stuck in no man's land. You're not going easy enough to promote proper recovery and aerobic base building, and you're not going hard enough to stimulate the high-end adaptations that dramatically improve VO2 max. This middle ground creates a perfect storm of problems. First, it generates significant fatigue and stress without proportional benefits. Your body is working hard, burning through resources, elevating cortisol, but the adaptive response is minimal compared to the energy expenditure. Second, it trains your body to become efficient at being mediocre. Your muscles adapt to this specific intensity, becoming really good at moderate effort but losing the capacity for explosive, oxygen-demanding work. Third, and this is crucial, it interferes with your ability to recover properly, which means you can't perform quality high-intensity sessions when they actually matter. Think about it this way. Imagine your cardiovascular system as a car engine. Moderate intensity cardio is like constantly driving at the same moderate speed on the highway. Sure, the engine runs, but it never learns to handle high performance demands, and it never gets proper rest either. You're wearing down the parts without building the capacity for peak performance. The research backs this up dramatically. Studies comparing different training intensities show that polarized training, where athletes spend most time either very easy or very hard with minimal time in the moderate zone, produces superior VO2 max improvements compared to threshold-focused training. Athletes following polarized models see improvements of 10 to 15% in VO2 max over several months, while those stuck in moderate intensity zones see minimal gains or even declines when overtraining symptoms appear. Now pense conmigo. How much of your training falls into this moderate intensity trap? Are you running at a pace where you can talk, but it feels somewhat challenging? Are you cycling at an effort that makes you sweat but doesn't leave you gasping? If so, you might be stuck in the zone that's quietly destroying your potential. The science of exercise physiology reveals something fascinating. Your body has different energy systems and they respond to different training stimuli. High-intensity intervals above 85% of your maximum heart rate trigger powerful adaptations including increased stroke volume, enhanced mitochondrial biogenesis, improved lactate buffering, and greater capillary density in muscles. Easy aerobic work below 70% allows for recovery while still building your aerobic base through increased mitochondrial efficiency and fat oxidation capacity. But the middle zone? It's too hard to be recovery and too easy to drive meaningful high-end adaptations. Let me share something even more concerning. Chronic moderate intensity training doesn't just limit your VO2 max gains. It actively compromises your body's ability to respond to training. When you accumulate too much moderate intensity work, your sympathetic nervous system remains constantly elevated. Cortisol levels stay higher than they should. Inflammation markers increase. Your heart rate variability, a key indicator of recovery status, decreases. Sleep quality suffers. And here's the kicker. Your body starts producing more slow-twitch muscle fibers at the expense of fast-twitch fibers, which further limits your capacity for high-intensity efforts. You're literally remodeling your physiology in the wrong direction. Athletes who fall into this trap often report feeling tired all the time, experiencing persistent muscle soreness, seeing declining performance despite consistent training, and losing motivation because nothing seems to work anymore. This is the fatal mistake in action. Comment now. Are you training mostly in the moderate intensity zone? Have you noticed your progress? Stalling despite consistent effort? Write your experience in the comments below, because you're definitely not alone. So what's the solution? How do you escape this trap and actually improve your VO2 max? The answer lies in polarized training, and it requires a complete mindset shift. You need to train hard when you train hard, and easy when you train easy. No more middle ground. For high-intensity sessions, we're talking about intervals that push you to 85 to 95% of your maximum heart rate. These sessions are uncomfortable, they're supposed to be. Think 4-minute intervals at threshold pace, 30-second all-out sprints, or hill repeats that leave you breathing heavily. These sessions should feel challenging enough that you can only sustain them for short bursts with recovery periods in between. The magic happens during these intense efforts because you're forcing your cardiovascular system to operate at maximum capacity, which triggers all those powerful adaptations we discussed earlier. But here's the critical part. These hard sessions should only comprise about 20% of your total training volume. The remaining 80% should be genuinely easy aerobic work. This is where most people fail because their ego gets in the way. Easy means easy. You should be able to hold a full conversation without gasping for breath. Your heart rate should stay below 70% of maximum. It should feel almost too easy, like you're not working hard enough. But this is where the foundation gets built. This is where your aerobic base expands, where your body learns to burn fat efficiently, where your capillary networks grow, and where recovery happens so you can actually perform well during those high-intensity sessions. The combination is powerful. The hard sessions drive your VO2 max ceiling higher, while the easy sessions expand your aerobic base and enable recovery. Together, they create an environment where your body can continuously adapt and improve without burning out. Let me give you a practical framework. If you train 5 days per week, aim for 1 or 2 high-intensity sessions maximum. These might be interval workouts on the track, hard hill climbs, or tempo efforts that push your limits. Space them out with at least 48 hours between them to allow for proper recovery. The other 3 to 4 days should be easy aerobic work. Long, slow distance, recovery runs, easy bike rides, whatever keeps your heart rate low and allows your body to adapt without accumulating fatigue. You might feel like you're not doing enough during these easy sessions, but trust the process. The research is clear and the results speak for themselves. You also need to pay attention to the warning signs that you've been living in the moderate intensity trap. Persistent fatigue that doesn't improve with a few rest days indicates your body hasn't properly recovered. Elevated resting heart rate measured first thing in the morning suggests your sympathetic nervous system is overactive. Decreased heart rate variability measured with simple apps shows your body is stressed. Poor sleep quality and difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep point to hormonal imbalances from overtraining. Mood changes including irritability, anxiety, or lack of motivation indicate systemic stress. Frequent minor illnesses because your immune system is compromised. If you're experiencing several of these symptoms, it's time to dramatically reduce your moderate intensity work and embrace the polarized approach. Here's something else that will surprise you. Genetics play a role in VO2 max, but they're not destiny. Research shows that even people with average genetic potential can achieve remarkable improvements through proper training. The key is sending the right signals to your body, and that means avoiding the fatal mistake we've been discussing. Some individuals are naturally high responders who see dramatic improvements with any training, while others are low responders who need more specific stimuli to trigger adaptations. But everyone, regardless of genetic predisposition, responds better to polarized training than to chronic moderate intensity work. The difference in improvement might vary, but the principle remains universal. Now think with me again. What would your training look like if you completely eliminated junk miles and junk workouts? What if every session had a clear purpose, either pushing your limits or building your base? How much better would you feel if you stopped accumulating chronic fatigue and instead allowed your body to truly recover between hard efforts? This is the transformation that awaits you when you fix this fatal mistake. The science, the research, and the real-world results from elite athletes all point to the same conclusion. Moderate intensity training has its place in specific situations like active recovery or warming up, but it should never dominate your training program. When it does, it becomes the silent killer of VO2 max, the invisible barrier preventing you from reaching your potential. The athletes who break through plateaus and continue improving year after year are those who understand this principle. They train with purpose and intention. They go hard when it's time to go hard, and they recover properly when it's time to recover. There's no wasted effort stuck in the middle zone that provides minimal benefit while accumulating maximal fatigue. So here's your action plan starting today. Audit your current training and honestly assess how much time you spend in each intensity zone. If moderate intensity dominates, it's time for change. Redesign your training week around the polarized model with 1 or 2 genuinely hard sessions and the rest genuinely easy. Invest in a heart rate monitor or use perceived exertion to ensure you're truly hitting the right zones. Track your progress through metrics like resting heart rate variability, and actual performance markers. Most importantly, be patient because adaptations take time, but the results will come. Your VO2 max will improve, your energy will return, and your performance will reach new levels. This is the truth that the fitness industry often overlooks because it's not sexy to tell people to train easier most of the time. The culture celebrates grinding and hustle, but smart training beats hard training every single time. Now you know the fatal mistake that's been holding you back. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue down the same path expecting different results, or will you make the change that unlocks your true potential? The choice is yours, but the evidence is clear. Stop killing your VO2 max with chronic moderate intensity training. Embrace polarized training and watch your cardiovascular fitness soar to levels you never thought possible. Comment below with your biggest takeaway from this video and let me know if you've been stuck in the moderate intensity trap. Hit that subscribe button because we're diving deeper into training optimization in the next video, where I'll reveal the exact interval protocols that elite endurance athletes use to maximize VO2 max gains. Click the video on your screen right now and continue this journey toward your best performance ever. Until next time, train smart, recover hard, and never settle for mediocre.